dark, she's got the spark, lighting up the screen, a vision so stark. With every click comes a brand new trick. She's the queen of the digital flick. Hey, 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 it's Twizz's world. We're just rolling through it, girl. Hey, 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 she's the vibe, setting the tone, she's the drive.
Hi guys, so for the new subscribers, welcome to my YouTube channel, and for those who've been subscribed all along, welcome back. So I bet you clicked on this video because of simply the title. Today I'm gonna be telling you guys about my keloid journey. So we're going to rewind back to 2016 because I decided to talk about this keloid I once had, or because it's such a huge part of my life, and it's something that I had for over 8 years, you know. So yeah, I just hope you find it informative, and I hope it does help somebody who is planning to have their ear pierced, or somebody who has the keloid already and they're looking for ways on how to remove that keloid. So I'm gonna talk about the causes, the treatments, and I'll try my best to attach pictures just for reference, you know. And I hope I can just summarize this information, because I just don't want to give out so much, but again I want to give out so much, just enough to help somebody that's going through something that I went through. Why I decided to film this video is because I did see a Facebook post about a keloid some weeks ago, and I saw they put like some information, but I didn't think the information was that, it was accurate, but it wasn't just enough, you know, because for me, I like to search for things, whatever I'm doing, with be it an exam, be it me searching for something, be it me trying to look for a recipe, or me traveling to a place. I always like to search prior to that particular activity I'm about to do, so that I have full knowledge of that thing. And one place I like to search from is YouTube. I feel like YouTube is such a good app that it helps us search for so many things, and it has so much. If you want to do anything, just search on YouTube. But then when I had the keloid, I searched so much on YouTube and I didn't find like so much content. Okay, I did find content, but it wasn't what I was looking for, you know. So I just really hope my video can help you in one way or another. So in 2016, I went to have my ears pierced. First of all, I must mention, I already had piercings from when I was, I believe 2 or 3. My mom had my ears pierced when I was 2 or 3, of which those piercings went fine. I was wearing earrings for as long as I can remember. But in 2016, my friends came to pick me up and we went somewhere to have our ears pierced. But initially, they were the ones who were supposed to have their ears pierced. But when I got there, you know, peer pressure and whatnot, I also decided to do it. You know, I can't remember how the conversations went, but I remember me giving consent to wanting to do it. You know, I was like, okay, since they were getting theirs, let me also get mine. And it was me getting like my second piercing. So I hope you can see my ear, like right here. Okay, let me show this one. Like, I already have this one, then I was getting one here. So now when we were getting the piercings, I honestly feel like the man that had used the machines to pierce us, I don't want to like blame him or anything like that, but I just don't feel it was done properly, you know. But I mostly blame myself, because I don't think I can blame anybody else. All my life I've always blamed myself, because I must mention I've always been at missionary schools. So at that time I went to school. I was at a boarding school. I had my ears pierced, and then I went to school. Immediately I went to school, and I never ever told my mom that I had my ears pierced. So when I went to school, you know, at boarding schools they don't allow you to carry like excess stuff like methylated spirit, because in Zambia that's what we use. We put methylated spirit each time you have either your hair cut or you have a piercing, but I didn't carry that because it wasn't allowed. But then of course I had the option of using salt. For those that know that technique where you put salt, I think salt mixed with water, iodized salt, I think, mixed with water, but I still never did that. So when I went to school, you know, school in Zambia takes 3 months. We have 3 terms. So at that time, after I went to school, I never used either methylated spirit or salt. I was just staying like that with a little stick inside. And then my friend noticed, somebody used to sit behind me. She noticed that my ear started having a bump. I think both sides, if I'm not mistaken. And for me, I didn't think much about it, but I was like, it'll fix itself. Then I went back home. It was time to go back home for the holiday, until my mom saw my hair, because each time I was at home, I love short hair or hair that just covers my ears or anything like that. So at that time I had a bob. I plaited hair that's shaped like a bob. And then my mom got to see my hair, and okay, I'm gonna say this in our language. She was like, what is that? Sama earring or. So then I was like, you know, I was scared, because at that time I hid it from her, and that's when she was finding out, like 3 months later or 4 months later. And I was like, no, ma, I was scared to tell you, and what. Yeah, she did shout at me, but of course she was disappointed that I didn't mention, but she just let it be. But to fast forward this, later my ears started growing a keloid, but I ignored it and continued wearing earrings. Then when my aunt saw it, because she's had keloids before, and that's one thing I want to mention, keloids are at times genetic because it runs in your blood, you know. But it was just quite unfortunate that I didn't keep mine properly. That's why I say I blame myself and not the person that pierced my ears, because I feel, in as much as maybe he didn't take care of it, I should have done better too. I should have put methylated spirit or salt, but I didn't do that, you know. So I decided to keep it for a while, and then when my aunt saw it, she told me, don't do that, what. So then I ended up removing the earrings, and on my right side it stopped growing, but on my left side it continued growing. So as you can see, this side my ear shape is still the same, and it's gone back inside. I can't even feel it. But on this side it was so bad, like really bad. So fast forwarding it, 3 years later I had to travel to China because I got accepted to start my undergraduate in medicine. And because I was coming to China, I had low self-esteem. I wasn't confident in myself because I felt like if I travel abroad, these people will be seeing my ear and whatnot. I will be attaching some pictures. So then I did ask around, and I was told that some people do go for, I don't know what it's called, but laser cutting, something like that. And then some people do tie it, some people go for surgery. Yeah, but at that time when I did ask people, I was told that many of the people that were doing surgeries, I saw like pictures of some people, the moment they had tampered with it, it grew worse. The keloid like spread around the ear and also grew on the neck, and it was just so bad. And I was so scared for myself because it was just a scary thing to go through, you know. Because my aunt too used to cut hers using a string, and then it would regrow, and she would cut, it would regrow, but each time it regrows, it gets weaker, so it wasn't growing as much. So I was thinking I would do that too. But I must tell you guys, I was like, no, I'm gonna be strong and I know I can do this, I can manage. So I tied like a string. Pop. After tying that string, each time, like each day, you have to tighten it every day, because when you tie it, it strangles it, and when it strangles it, it starts turning black and it suffocates, and the skin becomes softer, so it starts cutting through. So each day you have to tighten it like that. So every time you tighten it, you're like getting inside the wound like that, and it would give me a terrible headache, like a terrible headache. You'll find my ears bleeding, and maybe like I slept and like blood dried up, so I have to clean it in the morning. It was just so bad, and literally I was scared for my life. My mom was scared for my life. And you know, African parents, my mom is a typical African parent. She'll be like, why did you have to do that? This is what happens if you go behind your parent and you try to do something dubious. Bad things always happen. I was like, mom. But you know, at that time, I had to be strong and not complain or cry or anything, because if I did that, then meaning whatever she's telling me is sinking in, you know. But then I was just acting strong and like everything is gonna be okay, and I was motivating myself. No, I got accepted, I'm going abroad, I'm going to China. I was so excited. So then it started cutting, and then I can't remember like the time frame. Then it didn't even take long. It wasn't even more than a month, or maybe more than 3 weeks, but it started cutting. And then just when it was about to finish cutting, it, because of strangling it, it grew so big and it was so swollen. So because of that, I couldn't handle the finishing part of it. Like I could feel it, I could even turn it like this, but it was just so painful. So I had to tell my mom. I complained to my mom, no ma, I can't continue enduring this pain, it's so painful and whatnot. So my mom said, you can go to the hospital and whatnot. And that's one place I was avoiding, because of every person I knew that once went to the hospital and it came back 2 times worse or 3 times worse. But this time I was just praying to God, like, God, please keep me, please help me, you know, please make this thing better for me. I know maybe I did something wrong, but I'm truly, truly sorry. So then I went to the hospital, and as usual, you know, hospital procedures take long and whatnot. After going to the hospital, I'm sorry, let me just fix my hair. Okay, I'm back. So after going to the hospital, of course it took a while to like have the procedure done, or because the hospital procedures in my country take long, you know. It takes weeks, so, and you have to come like once per week. So I used to go to the hospital and whatnot, and I'll take myself, because at that time everybody was busy, everybody had something to do and whatnot. So I'll take myself there, blah 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 blah. And then fast forwarding it, my mom gave me money, you know, and she told me, this money is for you to use when the hospital, that was the day I was supposed to have the surgery. So my mom told me, this money is money you need to use if they require you to pay for something and whatnot. So I said, okay. And one thing about my mom all my life is that she always requires a receipt. Each time my mom gives you like a large sum of amount of money, you need to give her back a receipt of the proof of what you paid for. So she clearly stated to me that ngawaya ko hospital, when you go to that hospital, bakupele receipt. I repeat, bakupele receipt. After they are done, they should give you that receipt. I said, okay, fine. So after going to that hospital, the day I was supposed to have the surgery, I was surprised that the doctor, I asked him, saying, I did like so much research. So I asked him, saying, don't I need to go to the OR for this? Don't I need to have surgery in the OR. He told me, no, it's such a minimal surgery, you need local anesthesia, not general anesthesia and whatnot, so we can do it from my office. And I said, okay, cool, you know, I can't argue with a doctor, you know. So I said, okay, fine, but don't I need to pay for this or anything like that? He told me, no, you need to pay this amount of money and whatnot. I said, okay, I'll pay, I have the money, but you should give me the receipt. I can't remember how it went because so many years have passed, but he was like meandering, he was running away from the receipt issue, you know. He said, oh no, wait, I remember him making like a fake phone call, talking to somebody, but I couldn't even hear the person, because why I'm saying this is because earlier when he had called somebody I could hear it, but now when it was time for the receipt, when he had called somebody I couldn't hear it. And he said, no, the person that gives receipts is not at work today, so I'll just let you do it for free, then you can go home. And that was after he's already done the surgery. So I was really like, I'm only stating this only because I'm not trying to prove that the doctor did something bad, but to me I feel that contributed to why I feel or still feel that the procedure wasn't as good, you know, because of him acting like that. But forget about that. So when having my procedure, he did put local anesthesia, and then he started cutting it. With the first injection of anesthesia you can feel it, but then when he starts cutting it, all I could hear was the sound, like the sound of him cutting it. Then it came out. Then he told me no, use Tricot. I believe at that time it was Tricot too. He told me use this medicine and whatnot, and it's not gonna grow back. I emphasized, I asked, doctor, are you sure it's not gonna grow back? He told me, yeah, it's not gonna grow back and whatnot. He assured me, and I said, oh, okay, fine. So I went and told my family the whole story, like this is what happened and whatnot. And they said, ciao mama, everything is fine now, you know, at least you can go to China with a free mind. And I was so happy. Imagine, from the time I came to China plus 5 more years, my keloid started growing. It was so bad. And the thing about my keloid is that I hope, I don't know if other people experience this, but for me, my keloid reacts in extreme weather temperatures, like when it's extremely cold and when it's extremely hot. When I came, that whole 5 years, my keloid was just growing till it became so visible, and it came back 2 times worse, you know, 2 times worse. So it started growing and it was so bad. And I really can't speak on behalf of everybody, but I felt like each time when somebody is talking to me, they're always looking at my ear, you know. They'll be like right here talking to me, and then you'll see their eyes like move and look aside. They come back, they look this side, they come back, look to the left, come back, look to the left. And that made me so uncomfortable, because it was just so uncomfortable in the sense that even when like I have my natural hair and they're behind me, I always felt like people are looking at me. So this keloid really like lowered my self-esteem, you know. So after having it for like 5 years, I remember I got an opportunity to go back home after COVID. The borders opened again, so I told mom if I could go back and see the family and whatnot, and also probably have my surgery. Before I speak about that, here in China, I tried to apply to have the surgery done here in China, but then each time I asked like so many times, and that's in different time frames, every year maybe, you know. Each time I would ask, they'll tell me, I went to ENT first of all, I went to plastic surgery department, and I've forgotten the same department I went to, but all of them told me that it will cost about 10,000 yuan plus you being hospitalized. That's also another fee, sorry. And then I went and asked, because while you're here, each time when you're abroad or when you're in China, you have to renew your visa each year, and each time you're paying for your visa, you also have to pay for insurance. So all my years here, I've always paid for insurance, you know. So I did go and ask the administration saying, can't insurance cover it? Only for me to be told by insurance that they can't cater for this surgery, they can't pay for it because it's considered as plastic surgery, you know, that I'm simply beautifying myself, so they can't pay for it. And I was like, what? How am I trying to beautify myself? But in some way it does make sense, but like, it's not like I'm trying to enhance my nose or my eyes or my lips or anything like that. It's just the growth that I'm trying to cut out, and I don't want it anymore. But then they refused all the time, so I said, okay, it's cool, we can leave it, because I honestly wasn't gonna pay 10,000 yuan or anything more than that, because all the time when there's a surgery in China, for anybody that I've heard, it's always like extremely expensive, and that's you converting it to Zambian kwacha. It's always expensive. So I wasn't gonna manage, and I knew my family wasn't gonna manage. So I got an opportunity after COVID, when the borders opened. I told my mom I want to come home, and then I went home, and my mom has a friend, a long-time friend. So he had his niece, the niece keloid cut, you know, from a particular place, of which I had like a lot of questions for them. I spoke to him, I asked a lot of questions, and I was told it never grew back. And I got to speak to her too. It never grew back at all, and I couldn't believe it, because at that time when I was having it done, I told myself I was leaving room for disappointment in case it just goes bad, because at that point I was sick and tired of everything, you know. I was starting to accept that this is gonna be my life. I'm gonna have this keloid all the days of my life. I just reached a point where I accepted the situation, you know. So then after speaking to her, I just went with 1 foot in the water while 1 foot is out of the water. So I started my procedure. Thankfully, for that hospital, I was told to use Tricot medicine. Tricot is not a medicine that you can just go into a pharmacy and get it off the counter. You always have to have the doctor's prescription. So after going to that hospital, I was getting Tricot injections every week prior to the surgery. So I would go buy the medicine, of which in town it costed about 75 kwacha, and then some parts of town it was, I think, 60 kwacha. So it depends with like where you find it, because there's so many pharmacies in town. I would travel every week from my place to that place to have my ear injected with Tricot all the time. When it was time for the surgery, the doctor was so kind to me. When we went for the surgery, I had local anesthesia, and just like having the keloid cut. Actually, my doctor was so impressed, because I wasn't crying, I wasn't complaining, I didn't fidget. He was so impressed by everything. For me, in my heart, I was just ready for it to go. I just wanted it to go, you know. So we were having a conversation and whatnot, and yeah. And then he did it so well, because before the surgery he told me, I'll try to have your ear preserved, because I did tell him I want to keep the shape of my ears. So he did promise me that he'll try to preserve my ear. But then when we were cutting it, he did let me know, saying the cells of the keloid grew so much, because keloids are simply an overgrowth of cells trying to heal something. So it's like my ear had been trying to heal the wound. So even when I had my first surgery, my ear was still trying to heal that wound of cutting it. So he told me they overspread or they overgrew or something like that. So he tried as much as he could to scrap out those cells, of which I could literally hear him like going like that, because after he cut it, he started scraping it out like that. And I just told him, okay, do your thing, you know, like, let's just get over this. And he managed to remove everything. I remember looking at it and he asked me, do you want to take it home? At that time, because the first one I did, I took it home, but the second one I did, I was like, I just don't want it. I don't want to see it, you know. I just want to let go of it. So I think maybe, I don't know, they took it away, or maybe they threw it away, whatever it is. So after my surgery, they put a patch and they injected Tricot again. So even after my surgery, I was supposed to now have Tricot injected in my ear every month, per month. I had the Tricot injection for 5 months after my surgery, and I bought the Tricot in bulk. Then I brought it over to China. I went to the hospital to have the Tricot injected, but when I went to the hospital told me, for us to help you have your medication injected, you need to pay us 300 yuan. And I was like, every month I have to pay 300 yuan. I'm not gonna do that. Oh my, I'm not gonna do that. So I did inform my mom about this, and I informed everybody about this. So then I started to have the medication injected with my seniors, because we are all medical students, so we know how to do these things. Okay, so we started having the medicine injected. We were ensuring that the whole place is sterilized. And that's one thing I want to say. I don't recommend anyone to do this on their own. If you're not a medical student, you're not a doctor, just seek for help from somebody who's a health professional. We only did this on our own because we are medical students, you know, and we are about to graduate, so we know how to do these things. But if you're an amateur, ask for help. Don't just do it on your own. So we would always do it on our own every month for 5 months. And then when I had finished it, I started having discoloration. I don't know if you can see it, but I started having discoloration here. It was so bad. Like, my skin started changing color. I was like so light here compared to my face, or my skin rather. I was super light, and that is caused due to necrosis, cell death, because Tricot is such a strong drug. It's meant to if you like inject it on a keloid, it's meant to make it softer, to kill the cells. So when I was injecting it after the surgery, post surgery, it started making this part lighter. So when I had reported it to the doctor, when I was done, he told me, no, that's gonna fix itself because you are only injecting that, but after some years it's gonna fix itself. And I was like, okay, in the doctor we trust, in medicine we trust, and in God we trust. So after that period, I just let it be, you know. I just let it be, and here I am now ready to talk about it, because I've been wanting to make a video about this keloid process, hoping that it can help someone out there, someone who's having a keloid, someone who's going to have their ear injected, their ear pierced or anything like that, if they can take care of their procedure, you know, before they do it, or if they can take care of their ear. But I must let you know that for those that have keloids, I know if you search out there, there's so much information that none of them, they're saying so much, but there's nothing that they're giving out, you know. So people tend to lose hope. I lost hope. I thought I lost hope and would have this thing for the rest of my life. But after I had this surgery, everything changed. It's never grown back, and it's been 2 years now, or maybe 1 year and a half. Yeah, 1 year and a half, and it's never grown back. But I must say, I would be lying if I say everything is fine, like extremely fine, 100% fine. I would say everything is 95% fine, because I still experience itchiness. Even right now as I'm filming the video, my ear is itching because it's summer here right now. So there's so much heat. I feel a bit hot, so my ear is itching so much more than I can feel it here, and I always feel like scratching it, but I don't scratch. I only rub it like that. And I would have said the keloid is growing, but then when I touch it, I don't feel any ball inside, because the moment you start feeling a ball inside, just know that it's growing. But it's been a year and a half and I can't feel any ball. But the doctor did tell me it's due to the temperatures, because I only feel it here where the injection used to get in from. So that's why I feel like the itchiness. And I think last time, like, a mosquito bit my ear, and I was telling myself, like, this mosquito, it can beat me everywhere, but why did it have to beat my ear, like right on my ear, you know? So it was quite disappointing. You should have chosen another part. But anyways, I use Funbact at the moment to relieve the pain, because Funbact is an anti-inflammatory drug, you know. So each time I use it, it relieves the itchiness. And I use it only in extreme weathers, because anytime when it's not as hot or as cold, my ear is simply fine, you know. And I forgot to mention, I must add that while I was searching for a way to fix my ear, there was a point in life where, in that 5 years time when I was in China, when I was doing my undergraduate, where I did so much research. I found this medication on Instagram from this particular store. It was well designed. The Instagram was well designed and everything, and they even had highlights of different countries, them shipping to those countries and whatnot. And I was like, yes. And it was from Nigeria, and they were advertising pills and a certain oil that I can use to apply. They claim that the pills make it soft and the oil makes it shrink. Yeah. So then when I spoke to them and I saw everything, I was like, okay, let me take my chance. Let me take a risk. And I reached out to them and everything, and they told me the amount to pay and everything. So then I spoke to my Nigerian friends, and when I did speak to them, they told me, honestly, they were not for the idea. They said don't buy from them and whatnot. At least let us send somebody back home to go to their store to go check. I don't remember if someone went to check, but they really did look out for me. And then after so much back and forth conversations between me and the shop, I later decided that I was gonna buy. And at that time, I used all the money I had, like all the money I had. I invested it into this remedy that they were advertising, of which when we sent the money, when I gave my friend the yuan, then he sent the naira to their store. I remember it costed about 300,000 naira. I don't know how much it is currently, but that's how much I had given the store. And then they had it shipped, of which I had problems, because when they had shipped it, it never had labeling. It was just in packets, but there was no label on it. It didn't say the Aussie, the net, the weight. It didn't say anything, the ingredients, anything. So then even just receiving it in China, it was so difficult, because DHL kept on calling and asking. Then I'll go back and forth, and then I ended up receiving it. After receiving it, I started using it, and then when it was, I was so shocked because I received less pills, like just a little pills. It wasn't much, but the oil was like a lot, because you know, oil, you don't even need much. So then when I reached out to the hospital, to this particular hospital, they only for them to tell me, sorry, I just received a call, but after I'd sent that 300,000 naira, I only for the people I was talking to tell me that, no, madam, if you wanted more pills and whatnot. I remember they were advising me to have paid for 300 pills. It's like they charge per pill, you know. And I was so fascinated, because I was telling them, you should have told me all these things from get-go, and then you're starting to tell me right now. You know, I put all my money in this, and then this is when you're telling me I paid for DHL, I paid for the pills, I paid for the oil, then you're starting to tell me this right now. And they said no, blah 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 blah. And then I needed to talk to the doctor. I really needed to ask him questions, and at first they were like running away from the question. They were saying, no, the doctor is busy, the doctor has clients, the doctor. I said, but how do you expect me to take these pills? That was before the pills. I said, how do you expect me to take these pills? Because I don't know how to use them. They are your products. You need to explain to me and everything. After like going back and forth with them, that's when they let me talk to the doctor. Oh yeah, all this happened before I actually even started taking the pills, not after. Yeah, so just to correct that. So after I spoke to the doctor, only for him to explain all this to me, saying you should have paid for this, you should have done this, and also consultation fee. You can't just come and talk to me, you have to pay each time you need to talk to me. I said, but I bought the pills from you. You should have explained all this to me and even told me about the consultation fee, and not like telling me after I've paid and now I need more pills. You know, I don't know if their pills work or not, if their remedies work or not, but to me it did seem like it does work. But at least they should have said, given the precautions before the whole procedure, so that people don't buy, you know, or they should buy if they can, because they were telling me your friends in Germany can buy, your people in Germany, in the UK and in the US buy. Why should you give us problems because you're in China? And to me that felt so offensive, because like I had my own personal questions. Maybe yes, I was giving them a tough time, but at least they should have respected that, because I'm not those people. I want to know. I'm going through my own thing with my keloid, not unlike the other people. But yeah, so after they told me that, I ended up not using not rebuying the things. I only used what they sent me, and it never worked. As simple as that. I took the pills as they had said, and the pills finished within 1 week. They told me I should have bought pills worth 2 months. So yeah, and I put all my money into it, so I couldn't afford to rebuy the stuff. So after that, this is where now we come back to the story. I went back home and everything I just explained. So yeah, until my keloid was taken out, and this is my life right now. And I feel so confident because it hasn't regrown back. And to be honest, I just want to thank God for helping me and being with me and supporting me through all this, because in as much as I was not okay, people noticing this, I was also mentally dealing with this and emotionally dealing with this, you know, and also financially, because I was putting so much money in all this, in whatever I did, you know, till it eventually worked. Especially at the end when I had the second surgery. At that time I had no hope, nothing. I just left room for disappointment. But you know, the script flipped and my life has been changed. So this is who I am now. I don't wear earrings anymore. I don't tamper with my ears, put anything on them or anything like that. I just leave them. I use fan backed, and I would advise anybody that's having a keloid to please take care of yourself. And I know things might be hard, but things will get better eventually, you know. And some other things at times, maybe it might seem like it's not getting better soon, but give it time, because all this happened to me within 8 years. Imagine, 8 good years. But now this is where I am today, 10 years later, you know. So yeah, I hope you found this video informative, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I hope it helped somebody out there to not lose hope. Thank you, and don't forget to leave a comment. I'll surely read them or reply if at all there'll be any. Thank you so much. Bye.